lovely women, very accomplished, and looking forward to this conversation on building systems that scale. At Davos, as we can see, we've all been surrounded by amazing, big, bold ideas. But something that's much quieter behind the scenes that people don't see that easily is the systems that actually make people successful. Now, whether it's politics, it's leadership, it's companies, or any of those things. And it's lovely to be, with all of you here having this conversation. I am Meghna.
Business mentor, business advisor. I help business from Eastern Europe to open branches in the United Kingdom. So I run company Biz Empire Group, which we provide accountancy services, tax services, and business advisory.
Huntington Beach, California, and I am the founder and president of the Helping Heroes Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that I started this year. I focus on giving financial and essential support to veterans who served our communities around Southern California, specifically with a more personal approach to it, making sure that the systems that we do build are focused on the community that we're serving and having a more hands-on approach.
Hi everyone, I'm Priyanka. I'm based in Zurich. I have my own real estate company. I've also started fundraising, and essentially I work with bridging the gap between the Western capital and access to the Eastern markets. Thank you.
Today with lovely women, very accomplished, and looking forward to this conversation on building systems that scale. At Davos, as we can see, we've all been surrounded by amazing, big, bold ideas. But something that's much quieter behind the scenes that people don't see that easily is the systems that actually make people successful. Now, whether it's politics, it's leadership, it's companies, or any of those things. And it's lovely to be, with all of you here having this conversation. I am Meghna Punhani. I am the Chief People Officer at Eightfold AI. It's an AI native product HR tech company based in California. And I spend my time at the intersection of AI and leadership and talent, helping women and CEOs and board members just scale their talent systems for that matter. So let's get going, but before we get into Q&A, it would be great for all of you to just take a quick second to introduce yourself. Ausra, if we may start with you.
Hello, such a woman powerhouse. I'm so inspired. Thank you girls for organizing it, it's amazing. My name is Ausra Sajonaite. I'm UK-based tax strategist, business mentor, business advisor. I help business from Eastern Europe to open branches in the United Kingdom. So I run company Biz Empire Group, which we provide accountancy services, tax services, and business advisory.
Anna?
Hello, I'm Annabella Sai. I'm coming from Huntington Beach, California, and I am the founder and president of the Helping Heroes Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that I started this year. I focus on giving financial and essential support to veterans who served our community around Southern California, specifically with a more personal approach to it, making sure that the systems that we do build are focused on the community that we're serving and having a more hands-on approach.
Excellent. Priyanka.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Priyanka. I'm based in Zurich. I have my own real estate company. I've also started fundraising, and essentially I work with bridging the gap between the Western capital and access to the Eastern markets. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. A lot of uncertain times. I think we can all see that. We heard a lot of that here at Davos as well. Just curious from your perspective, what are some of the systems that you feel are needed to future-proof, especially when it comes to leadership, to future-proof the organizations in the future? If I might start with you, Ausra.
Yeah, I think, everyone's talking about AI. AI is a huge part of it, and you are not using AI, you're way behind everyone else. So just to implement it into every single business, use it every possible way you can. And yeah, in my opinion, AI implementation into all the systems, on the businesses, is the future.
I think that the way that we need to future-proof our systems is including the people of the future. So coming from a next generation, younger person, I think I've grown up in an uncertain time, like you're saying. I feel like my generation, unfortunately, has dealt with a lot of world issues that I thought would have been solved by now, but unfortunately haven't been. And I think that my generation and the upcoming ones will be the ones to solve most of these. So I think that in order to future-proof our systems, we need to start listening to the voices of the youth like they mean something, because I think they do.
Sorry, keep doing that. For me, I think because I come from Switzerland, I live in Switzerland, I come from India. The one thing that I am seeing is, having a neutral space to keep creating, to keep advancing, whether it's technology and like she said, having dialogues, continue to keep on having dialogues about creating spaces where growth can exist.
100% agree with all of you. I would also add to that I think the AI revolution, I feel impacts women quite significantly. I would say more than some of the others. We went through agricultural revolution, mobile, cloud. There was just so many of those changes that happened over time. If I think about women, especially at the time with the skills that they gain over time, think about someone who goes on maternity leave. Given that AI's focus on automating so many of the jobs, think about when they come back in 6 months. The world could have shifted significantly, since they left the workforce, for that matter. So reskilling, upskilling, that talent transformation to all of them is so critical in this age as well. And so I think a special attention, I feel, has to be given to that talent transformation when it comes to AI. Ausra, let's start with you a bit. Given your background, right, it would be, how do you think about scaling organizations across market, especially, as a leader, as you grow your own business, and so how do you scale that, and what are the things that you focus on, like maybe top 2?
I think we have to focus more about challenges, because they are, if you swapping, the markets, especially I'm Eastern European. I started once business in London, didn't know the language, didn't know the people, the culture, and I just started from zero. So lots of things I had to consider, because you come to different country, you don't know how much things cost. You don't know how people gonna work, what's the culture, what's the value set. Because let's say, if you're gonna go to Italy, family is the most valuable dinner, at the table. In Britain, different, because British people are a bit more reserved. They conservative. So it's not very easy to approach them and make friends with them. So
unless you're at a pub, I would imagine.
And few pints of beer, yeah, for sure. So they are challenges. What you need to think of, it's money, people.
Priyanka, given your real estate business as well, let's talk about capital a little bit. Like, how do you use that to structure, long-term gains versus short-term? What's your strategy around it?
Thank you. I think it's very important to, like she mentioned, figure out what is your strategy in terms of long-term gains. And long-term gains only come through alignment of values, and also structuring the pace and execution together. So there's a lot of times when we have a lot of capital and we forget that this has to be not only executed in different phases, but also steadily set the expectations between different types of markets. So for example, I always work between Switzerland and India, and we have fantastic ideas from Switzerland, but execution lacks a little bit in India. A lot of times Swiss investors want very quick exits, whereas in Indian market, you need consistency and time because it is a young market. So I think we really need to bridge that gap between execution, strategy, and long-term investment.
Thank you for that. And given such a grassroots initiative that you're running based out of California, how do you do that? How do you scale your initiative, but just keep authenticity and trust building in mind as you go through it? And by the way, how long has it been around? Maybe it might be good to share that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I started this fund around 3 years ago during my freshman year, but I have been scaling it ever since then. We've gained official nonprofit status this year, and we just spread our resources across Southern California and different chapters in the previous year. So I think the issue with a lot of organizations is that once they start growing rapidly and scaling bigger, that they start to get obsessed over efficiency and visibility, and I think that kind of enters into the stage where you're losing the meaning or you forget why you're doing what you're doing. And I think that the most important thing to do when you're starting these grassroots initiatives is to keep in touch with the community and the purpose that you're serving. For me, like I've said, I started this my freshman year of high school, and I started this as a little club in high school with a couple of my friends, just wanting to support the local veterans that served our country. And I think that in the previous years, this has definitely scaled into something a lot bigger than I ever imagined it could. But I think the reason why it's been so successful but still maintain the integrity and the same mission that we have started with is because you're able to remember why you started. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I could tell to anyone starting a grassroots initiative is just to keep grounded with why you started this and keep the same purpose maintaining throughout.
That's awesome. If I may just follow up on that, because it's obviously very noble, and congratulations on the status as well. It's always very hard to measure impact sometimes with these initiatives, as well as consistency in it. So what measures have you put in place to take care of it?
I think that for me personally, our fund has focused a lot on the community itself. So the community of veterans that we're serving, we don't measure impact, and this is coming from a younger generation. I feel like a lot of these days success and impact is measured by the amount of zeros on a number or the amount of people that you're benefiting. But I think for us, it's more of a smaller quality over quantity, you might say. And I think that for us, we're able to stay rooted within our community that we're serving and listen, to the feedback that they're providing and keep in touch with what they think that we need to change. If that necessarily means slowing down on the scale because it's compromising the integrity of your mission, I think that's something that we've taken a really good measure on, especially this year with being able to expand at a wider circle. Funding is a huge thing that I think can get into a lot of people's head, and I think for us it's been a really good measure being able to keep in touch with the people that we're providing and making sure that just because you are benefiting at a wider scale, that it's still impacting the same people just as much, as not even better.
Sounds great. Ausra, just following up on your earlier comment. I mean, being a founder and founding something is obviously it takes a lot of courage for anyone to do that. But sustainable expansion is also not something easy. I think it requires a very different skill set. Going from 0 to 1 is a type of a skill set, and going from 1 to a 50 or 50 to 100 is absolutely different. So how do you think about that expansion for your particular line of business as well? Would be great to understand.
I was dealing with over 1,000 of businesses over my experience. So, and the biggest issue all the businesses have, entrepreneurs have, to lose control. Because when you're scaling, the control is the key, and you have to learn how to lose it, how to delegate work, how to put clear leadership structure, who's responsible for what, who's making decisions on pricing strategies, who's making decisions on hiring people, or like any other changes. So I think the main issue is control, because to grow and not to crash, you have to build a team. Team have to be communicated, values, because you as a leader dictate the values, and you have to hire the team who following your values, because otherwise, all what you created gonna go, to the bin. So I think, yeah, that's the key.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'd like to add to that would be that in today's day and age, I don't think functional skills are that critical anymore, because there's so many tools available and at our disposal, especially with AI. So if I have to say, for example, hire a financial analyst, does it make sense to invest in a financial analyst? And no offense to people if there's someone in the room with that background, but there's so many tools who can actually give me that analysis. And so when I think about talent and then sustainability and then growth, for that matter, some of the skills I feel that are absolutely critical for us in the future are the ones that are grounded in curiosity, learning agility, resilience, grit, people who are connectors, who are really able to think business from all angles and not just one. And that's the kind of skill set that would be absolutely essential and required for anybody to succeed in the future, especially for our kids and the newer generation, for them to keep in mind. And you know, as you can all see, like is business school or is even graduation or undergrad, are these skills, spending time in these areas, is that even more important or not? Time will tell.
Yeah, I can add something as well, you know, especially for us women. You know, I see the woman when in our head we have all these apps opened, you know, and you're always trying, you know, jump between them. But you know, when you grow, when your business grows, you reach certain point when you know cannot read all these bloody apps anymore, and you have to do something about it. So yeah, for women, when we like, you know, to control, because you know we mothers, we multitask constantly. So, but we have to unlearn it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Priyanka, let's turn over to you. You know, given that you know you talk about capital, let's talk a little bit about financial discipline. Very important for a founder as well as a business owner. So how do you think about financial discipline, and if there are any nuggets you can add, especially for women, because I have seen a lot of women shy away from numbers as well. So, but let's first talk about financial discipline.
Wow, very interesting question. So I think I will talk about this by sharing a personal story. When I came here in Switzerland, close to about 9 years ago, I came here to do MBA, and when I graduated, I went to give my first interview at UBS, and I was right on time, and they rejected me. When I went inside to give my interview, they told me, "Oh, you came at 9 a.m. And that's where your interview starts, at 9 a.m. Even though I was waiting with many people, I did not know that I would be rejected just because I was on time. So in Switzerland, being on time means being 5 minutes before. And that's how I learned that discipline in this particular sector, as well as in finance, in entrepreneurship, in women being leaders, is the #1 key foundation. What I have also noticed is, again, another story. There was another mentor that I used to follow, and I just stepped out from this event to go say hi to her. She rejected me too for another job, and then 7 years later, she invited me to be part of this circle of amazing women leaders. It's a full circle moment. And she said, it's a very interesting thing to me. She said, you know how quick have you adopted to the Swiss structure, but you still maintain that Indian values in you, where you connect people, where you still are, you know, always smiling, always talking about culture. So I think it's very important to understand your own individual qualities, not to lose them over the period of time. So what you bring, the same thing in terms of bringing discipline into finance. Remember that you are the person leading the ship. And so, you know, don't let someone else tell you how much to spend, where to spend in your business, what decisions to make. I mean, we've seen time and time again that, like she talked about control, that entrepreneurs and leaders do lose control because they hire some people who are probably smarter than them, as they should. And then they lose oversight of why they started this in the first place. So have limitations in what others are adding to you, still make your own decisions, but very much not lose control, be disciplined, be always resilient and motivated. And when it comes to numbers, I don't think I'm the number person. So I'm, again, like I said, it's about delegation, like she said. So I hire very smart people who let me tell the numbers, but we add value to each other. So I'm the person who's a connector who will reach out for a number. My team will tell me if that's realistic or not. And most of the time they tell me it's not realistic, but I often overshoot it in an year. So it's funny thing about the numbers, right? But women are often told to back away from that conversation.
Excellent. Love that. I love that. All right, I'm determined to get us all back track on time. I think we're doing well. So, so I do think that given the prolific set of women that we have here on the table, on the panel, would love to just go around and get some parting thoughts in terms of whether it's governance, it's talent, it's leadership, it's politics, right? How from your vantage point, how do you see the one key takeaway from your experience that really enables the people to build systems to be successful no matter where they belong?
I'm going to contradict Priyanka and tell that you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business, because numbers are language of the business. So, and I wish every single entrepreneur knew their numbers, because all the decisions has to be made based on numbers. Even though we women have gut feeling, but still gut feeling needs to be justified by numbers. So my takeaway and my suggestion to every single entrepreneur: go learn accountancy, learn bookkeeping, know what number means what, and then you'll succeed.
Sounds good. I think Priyanka, you also play to your strengths, so I would commend you for that too. Thank you. Anna?
I think that being here with all my esteemed panelists today has really brought a different perspective that I don't think I've seen a lot, being a younger person that doesn't have as much real world experience in these business sectors. But I think, kind of agreeing with what they're saying, is the biggest thing that I could take away and tell someone who wanted to build a system that scales and is impactful is that your voice matters. It does. And if you have a meeting or if you have a mission, then if you put your mind to it, that you can make it successful. And I think that the best way to do that is to be able to, what my other panelist said, is to build off each other and use your teamwork, but also acknowledge that you have values and that you're important and you do have a voice, and I think that everyone should use their voice.
Excellent.
I would just say, like she added, always remain open to positive criticism, to always learn, to be resilient. And also, I think as women, we know that true capital is built silently and with credibility over the period of time. So I think I want to thank Stuti for putting wonderful powerhouse of women together, and as I think as young budding entrepreneurs, we have a lot to look up to in this room, and thank you for that.
If I may add, I think it's important to look at who you are surrounded by. Usually, you're the sum of 5 people that you spend time with. And at least that's how I have evaluated always my next opportunity. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're likely in the wrong room, and it's time to change the room. So, with that in mind, when it comes to AI right now, my thought would be encourage every single woman to get their own hands dirty with it. Don't be afraid of it. Learn as much as possible, because you set the tone for the next generation. It's not that hard. In fact, everything is getting a lot more easier with the tools and technology that we have in our hands. So spend time with people who will make it easy for you, who will challenge you and open paths for you. With that, thank you so much, panelists, for joining us. Excellent. And thank you, Stuti, for making this.